Hey y'all, it's your girl Sia, and I'm back with another video. Y'all, this is completely off subject. Y'all know damn well I don't know nothing about no immobilizers or nothing, but I actually do. There was a situation that happened to me this morning where I'm stunting. I done got out the shower. Like I really put in some effort this morning to get out the house, right? And the goal was to leave on time, right? Tell me why, and I say this with all, tell me why, okay? My car, the lights turn on, the car actually goes to kind of start, but then completely shuts down. The engine itself shuts down, but all my lights, my blinking lights, my headlights, all of my lights are on, right? And what my car tells me is that the key is immobilized. Like it cannot read, even though the key fob was in the car, it could not read the signal, meaning that it literally said the word immobilize. Okay. So I'm freaking out because I'm like, okay, obviously people have tried to steal my car, which in my opinion, I don't really know what triggered the immobilization. I don't know if it was actually the bad battery or if it was someone trying to break in, but I'm pretty sure it was somebody trying to break in. And from what I understand is this is pretty common with Kias, right? And Hondas, but I don't got a fucking Honda, so we're not talking about that today. Pretty common with Kias who have the immobilizer on it. And it's very frustrating when I'm talking to men because they get all into this technical bullshit. They're very dry, they're very assholish, and I don't fucking like it, right? So I'm talking to my male friends. My male friends are kind of helping me out a little bit. Obviously, my boss is involved because now I ain't got a way to work and I damn sure ain't taking an Uber, right? Well, I learned that there is a way to unimmobilize your car. Now, if I was to lock my car door, not so much, okay? But because I was able to get in the vehicle, it makes it a lot easier to unimmobilize the vehicle. I had no idea my car had a space where you put the entire key fob into it, right? So, meaning the key itself, I mean, my key was taken out when they walked me through this, but it's not a matter of disconnecting and connecting the battery. I did all that, y'all, and it was not overriding for me, okay? Um, what ended up happening though is I called Kia because I'm like, okay, if I gotta take my car to the dealership, okay, towing is free, but I gotta pay for this now. So I'm really calling to figure out what the pricing on everything is because if I could sit with my car without driving for about a week, cool. But I would have to figure out again, it's problem solving. Okay, what is the issue? What can I do? What can I do from home? Is there a DIY fix? What is, is there, if I got to take it into the dealer, what are you guys going to charge me? Shit like that, right? So I called the dealer, I talked to a guy. Fuck that guy. I am sick of talking to men in fucking mechanics. I don't know what it is, but I feel like that industry only attracts a certain kind of man and they're very dull. Maybe not in everyday life, but at least in the business. They lack customer service big time. So if I'm a woman and I'm calling you freaking out, do you think that's the time to really argue with me about technical terms, sir? Like real talk, right? I'm a woman. I'm freaking out, bro. I need your help on how to fix my car. I don't need you to go in. Oh, well, you actually mean the cylinder lock on your car. I don't give a fuck what lock it is. You know what the fuck I'm talking about because clearly this is an issue across the board because everybody thinks that they can steal Kias and not every Kia can be stolen in the manner that these people are trying to steal them. Okay. So, meaning that, and then just to give you guys an FYI, my car has zero damage from any of these thieves outside of the car lock. That tells me they like my car. Okay. Maybe they don't like the car, but the car, they need to keep it in somewhat good condition. okay? Because they ain't tried to, thank God, have not tried to break a window, right? Or do something stupid to my car that's really a big deal, right? They only keep trying to pick through the goddamn lock. And I think it's an emergency lock because I don't know why I got it. I understand that the premises behind that lock is so in case of an emergency, you're able to still access your car one way or the other. Now, I don't understand the purpose in that lock because if I was to access my car with the physical key, there is literally nowhere to put the key inside the car. So it's not like, I mean, unless that key tells my car that it's okay to drive, but it still does it. Let's be clear. When I got in my car, it still told me it could not read the key fob. Okay. So I don't know how that works. I just know I refer to my lock as an emergency lock because again, I have nowhere in the vehicle to actually stick that physical key outside of the fucking driver door lock. And I swear to God to you guys, when I bought my car, I don't remember ever having a lock until I took it to the body shop. Now, from what I understand, it is illegal to not have a lock there, but either I didn't have a lock there or the lock was hidden, something. So now I got this fucking lock, and these fucking assholes keep trying to break into my car via the lock, right? They're not doing it. It's almost like you get to a point where it's like, really, bro? And you can tell they've been taking a hammer to that vehicle. Like they've been taking it to try to destroy the lock. But I'm thinking, even if you was to destroy the lock, you do know my car would know. Like my car would know. So from what I understand, it's very common this happening. And what the car does, it'll go into anti-theft mode, right? Meaning that I could start the car, but the car itself would not start, right? Meaning like the lights was on, you could push the button once, twice, but it would not start. So I'm freaking out because I'm like, what the fuck, right? My boss is like, well, you need to just take it to Kia, they'll fix it. But I'm thinking, you do want, he's coming from his standpoint. I'm coming from the fact that I just paid first month's rent, and you talking about I need to go have it towed to go pay the dealer, whatever, to fix whatever's wrong on my car. Wrong answer. Even though if that was the only answer, I would have took it. However, my car would have been sitting at the dealership for at least a week. So I'm like, there's got to be a better way to go about this, right? There's got to be an easier way to make this happen. So I called a couple locksmiths because I'm really just doing research. Like I said, I never had this experience, right? I've had my key fob die on me. I know how to fix that. Literally took my entire key fob apart just to figure out what the issue was. But I'm like, okay, this is strange, right? This is a weird experience that I'm going through. So I call these anti-theft people. This guy wants to charge me $175. This is why women, let me tell you, your intuition is on point. This guy wanted to charge me $175. I told him what was going on. I showed him my car lock. He's stating that he cannot fix the actual lock, which is not what I was asking them to do. I just need to be able to drive my car, meaning that if I need to take it to a dealer, that's a lot cheaper than having to go through the whole process of everything, right? So the guy's like, listen, I can reset it for you. I can get it fixed and up and running. And I'm thinking, okay. But I will charge you, they will charge me $75 to get here, even though they already know the issue. They want to charge me $75 to re-diagnose what I already told him, which he told me back. So he's clearly understanding of what needs to get done. Then, another thing about these car lock people, they don't always know the type of car you have. So yes, I'm saying Kia, 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 but they're like, yeah, well, it's got an ignition. You put the key in the ignition. I'm like, no, I don't have a key to put in an ignition. Damn it. Like, I think some people don't know what they don't know. So he was quoting me 100 to fix the issue, right? And I'm thinking, okay, well, it's $200. If I got it, I'm gonna have to figure it out where we gonna have to make it work, something, right? In my mind, my wheels are turning. So something tells me to call Kia. I called Kia, found out there was a whole new dealership over here that I really didn't know about. Otherwise, I probably would have been taking my car to that dealership because that dealership has great reviews, unlike the other Kia places around here, right? But I digress, right? I called them. Thank God they were them. I called them. The guy is such an asshole. And I don't think that's the intent when these men are answering the phone, but they're like, yeah, what do you need? How can I help? Oh, okay. Like they're not really, I don't like talking to mechanics. They're not the best people when it comes to communication. They're just not, right? Keep in mind, I'm a woman that's fucking freaking out. Like it's obvious I'm freaking out. I won't stop talking. I'm telling him what's going on with my car. I'm a woman. So while I understand that the goal is to get rid of the biases in this industry, you still have to understand you're dealing with fucking women who don't know what the fuck is going on. So if I'm freaking out about something, the way in which he could have handled that better was to be like, ma'am, listen, I know it's frustrating. Like, take a pause, breathe, whatever, right? Maybe, do it in a nice way. And then, but to nitpick at what I'm telling you, when you know the overall issue, but you're nitpicking about the words that I did and did not use, technical cylinder, like there's a lock on my fucking door. And if all you need to do is really pull up the model in your freaking, computer, and it would tell you what I'm talking about. I'm just saying. So finally, I was like, listen, this ain't going to work between you and I. I understand you're trying to help, but I don't like your communication style. And I said it like that. I'm really scared. Like, I don't know what's going on. Please pass me along to somebody who can actually help me, right? And to my surprise, he did not try to argue with me. He just said, okay. So, which tells me that he gets that often. Or he may not have really wanted to be on the phone, which is why he had the little tone that he had, right? So he jumps back on the line. He's like, hello, are you still there? I'm like, yes. He's like, oh, okay, I was just making sure. I'm trying to get somebody on the line for you. Well, next thing you know, my phone goes on hold and then it rings to somebody else. And I'm thinking this motherfucker like really just sent me to anybody, right? I'm freaking out. Woman answers the phone. I said, well, listen, I was just talking to this guy, I don't know if I'm in the right spot. I said, I'm freaking out. I need somebody who's going to be patient with me because obviously I'm a woman. I'm not going to say things right. I'm not going to, I'm not here for the technical bullshit. I just need you to be able to diagnose what's going on and let me know. Do I need to bring it in? Do I not need to bring it in? Is it going to cost me some money? Is it not going to cost me some money? Let's get to the, help me out. So the lady, I start telling her, she's like, yeah, sure. White girl. I loved her in that moment. Thank God, because the black man over the phone was not it. Okay. So she gets on the phone. She's like, yeah, I can help you. Yada. And I'm rolling my eyes in the back of my head because I've been here with dealerships before. Get in there. She's like, so yeah, what's the issue? And I told her what was going on, that my car was in an immobilized state. She says, well, you do know you have a spot inside your car? Because I don't know, but she was like, you have a spot inside your car where you would insert the key to override the immobilizing of it all. If that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it because obviously there are technical terms, but I'm not here for that shit. Okay. My car was sending me a signal telling me the car is locked, meaning that it's on. You can see the lights, but it will not go. And that lock only means one thing. That car with the key lock thing, this only means one thing. Okay. So every time I go to start my car, that's all that will flash on my dashboard. And I'm like, okay, so my car won't turn on. It won't do anything. Come to find out, there is a spot in the newer Kias, and I say newer. My car is not newer. It's a 2013, but it is a limited edition, meaning that they made my car with the future in mind. You know what I'm saying? So what she told me is that either in the middle console, which I think on the newer cars, it may be in the middle console, or in the glove box department, there is a space where you can literally take the entire key fob and stick it in. I had no idea. I'm like, I wouldn't have known that, right? Not the key itself, but the actual key fob. It has to go all the way in. So I'm like, really? So she's showing me, like, she's kind of walking me through. She's like, do you see it? It's this space, yada yada. It's this, it's that. Y'all, I know where the space is now. It is in your glove box or in your middle console, and it is not big as the key, meaning that your physical key will not. I don't know how it is on the older, and I say older in terms of model, like in terms of design, let's put it that way. So if you actually have a key that you stick into the ignition, I don't know where that key thing would be. Okay. But for folks that have a push start, and I think it's very important that somebody talks about this, because when you go to Google immobilization on a Kia, they're always talking about a key. What about the cars without a key? Right? Because yes, I got a key to get inside the car, but that's it. I can't do anything with that key. You know, at least that's what it looks like, because there's no slots to put the key. So Kia has came out, which is very interesting. Okay. And I thought was actually super cool. Okay. Is there's an actual space inside the glove box. Mine was to the left, where I can take the entire key fob. And what happens is it looks like nothing. It really looks like a random hole, right? But you'll notice that it accepts the key fob wholeheartedly. You can inject and eject, or yeah, inject and eject the key fob. It's kind of cool. Then the light, there's a light. So you kind of have to leave it in there. She didn't tell me all this because we were busy talking. So I'm sure time had went by, but I noticed, because at first when I put the key fob in there, I'm like, okay, it ain't doing much. Right? I tried to get it out. She's like, oh yeah, when you put it in, your car should start. Well, ma'am, the car ain't starting, right? Which turns out it was a battery issue, which could be the reason for this entire thing, right? So my fear is somebody's trying to break into my car. Well, when I would say, yeah, well, the battery, she's like, you should be able to start your car. So I go to start it. I see certain lights pop up, but not all. So, and I'm like, nah, I hear a bunch of ticking, right? She said, well, if it's the ticking, it's probably the battery. The battery, if your car didn't start, it probably means that your battery went dead. And I said, well, how can the battery go dead if they're trying to get in through the emergency lock? And she said, well, I don't know. It could be an antenna. Like, obviously that becomes more research at that point. Come to find out, my battery was completely drained. So it's really no telling. I will say this. When I came to my door, I don't know if it was locked, because I never pulled on it without the intent to try to unlock it. You see what I'm saying? But my battery was drained. I don't recall my door being slightly ajar, open, or nothing like that. But I know that from the time I noticed my car wouldn't drive to the time I figured out where to place the immobilizer, the car had completely died. Now, before I called the dealership, I did unplug the battery, right? I put the battery back on and I heard the tick, 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 tick. It was sparking, right? Come back out, do it again. I don't hear the tick, tick, tick sparking noise anymore. And right after that, after the first sparking nonsense, and I went back in the house, then figured out, okay, what else do I need to do? How can I fix this? And I called the dealer. In that amount of time, the battery had died completely. So I just want to throw that out there, you guys. I know that it's not easy, because even people in the comments, they're like, okay, so you guys are talking about the Kia, but you're not talking about my Kia. When the car does not have a push start, there is a physical place for you to insert your key fob, meaning that only you can unimmobilize your car. Okay. Or the dealership, but I don't. I'm not paying the dealership to do what I could do on my own. But I know that if I didn't figure it out, my car would have been at the dealership and they would have been trying to charge me an arm and a leg to get it done. Same thing with the locksmith. I left that locksmith a bad review, by the way, because the reality of it is you had no business trying to quote me $175 for some locks you're not even replacing. All you're doing is figuring out how to fucking get the car to restart. And what that tells me is the guy either knew how to get the car unimmobilized. Again, men have a tendency to ignore women sometimes. So when I'm telling him it's not a key, I mean, it's a key. The initial entry to the car, I don't use a key. I don't have to use the key. I'm not going to pull the key out of my key fob every 5 seconds. But that key is an emergency key. It's not a regular ass key for a car. So I know what I'm talking about. If my car, if I had car keys and I locked my car, see, because I don't think my car will lock with the key fob in it. It might. I don't think it does though. I think my car automatically unlocks because it detects the key fob in there. Do you understand? I'm pretty sure that's how it works. So, craziness today. My Monday didn't start off as it could have, but it could have been worse. I'm grateful for it. I just want to let Kia drivers know if your car is ever in a position where it is immobilized and you have a push start, look in the center console or look in your glove box. And again, it's not going to be a space that says key. It's not going to be a space that looks like it fits your key. It's going to be a random hole somewhere. And that hole will literally fit your key fob completely. So just so y'all know, that's what it is. I'm out. Peace.